In Changsha, a vibrant city in central China where music and history intertwine, a global stage ignites. Singer 2025. More than a competition, it's a fusion of cultures, where voices from across the globe converge, collaborate, and reshape the essence of music. Among them, 24-year-old American dynamo Grace Kinstler doesn't just cross oceans, she weaves cultures together with her voice.
So I'm actually curious, when you first received the invitation to join the show, what exactly went through your mind? Was there more excitement or hesitation?
I think the biggest thing was excitement. I knew this show from when Jessie J was on it, and I love Jessie J, so I just felt very honored that they would invite me here. I think in order to further yourself as an artist, but also just as a human being, is to put yourself out there and take risks and do things that are different from what you've done before. I think that's how you become the best version of yourself as a human and as an artist. So I knew there was going to be pressure, but I think that excites me in a way because I never like to be stagnant. I always like to have growth. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for me to grow.
Nice. I actually want to talk about two of your performances in particular. So the first one is 如愿.
Yeah.
In English as wish.
Yeah.
That's a Chinese song.
Yes.
So out of so many Chinese songs, why do you pick this one?
Well, I think the lyrics were very beautiful on that song, but I also really just loved the composition. I loved how the melody was written. I loved how Fei Wong sung it, obviously, but I just thought the song as a whole was really beautiful. And when I first heard it, I knew it was something that I would want to sing and that I would enjoy singing. I knew that when I sang a Mandarin song, it couldn't just be something that people were like, oh, you should do this. That it had to be something that I genuinely loved and enjoyed singing and also just found a lot of meaning in. And
how difficult is it for you to practice Mandarin?
I think it's difficult because my goal is always to be as accurate as possible so that it doesn't take away from the overall experience of the audience. So I would say 日愿 was very difficult because it was my first time ever doing it, and it was just a song that was very dense lyrically. So that was difficult. To be honest, when I'm singing Mandarin, I don't have a life. I just practice the Mandarin for hours. I don't go anywhere and I study. I just keep doing it because the best way to get comfortable with a language is to just make it feel natural, right? That's when it sounds the most natural and the most accurate. So yeah, it's a lot of practice.
A second performance that I want to mention is I Don't Want to Be You Anymore from your last week's performance.
Yeah.
In which you showed your vulnerability and you didn't showcase your vocal capability as usual. And many music professionals, they love about it. And this is what they have been advising you to do.
That song for me, it was very emotionally triggering and it was very vulnerable for me. That song connected to an experience that I had never talked about publicly before, which was a challenge for me because I'm in a brand new place, sharing something so personal. But I knew that when I sang a song that was emotional and it was vulnerable, I really didn't want it to be a performative thing. I think it's really easy to come into a competition and everyone is like, do a song that's emotional, do a song that's vulnerable, and you can do that and kind of put up the facade of that. I think that's an easy thing to do. But for me, I really wanted it to be something where I was genuinely feeling what I was singing. And even though it brought me back to a dark place, it was genuine, and that's what I wanted it to be. I felt like I really connected with people with that performance, and I hope that they feel closer to me because of it.
Even though the ranking wasn't so great, are you upset with that?
No. I come in every week just wanting to execute the best version of the song that I choose as possible. So for me, it was really about expressing myself as an artist, but also as a human being and letting people get to know me more and a different part of me more. I think we're all very locked into who we are as artists. So I really do feel like here the artistry does come first. It's not always about getting the top ranking performances. I think as long as you can walk into something and be confident that you're putting your best foot forward and feel really good about what you're doing and genuine about what you're doing and authentic about what you're doing, that's what satisfies me. I think it's awesome when that's received by the audience and you rank high. That's great. But at the end of the day, I think if I were to focus on just ranking high, I'm losing sight of the goal, which is to show myself in the truest way.
I think for the competition, song choices are pivotal.
Yeah.
And do you study audience taste and put that into consideration? Because from what you have said, I think you probably are more focused on your own artistic expression.
Yeah, I think you can do both. I think you can study the audience's preferences while also still putting your artistic spin on things, right? So like this week with Changsha, I'm putting a lot of my own artistry into it, but it's a song that I know people here really love. And while arranging it and while coming up with what I'm doing vocally, what my goal is to do is to make it inventive, make it new and fresh, but not strip away what people really love about it here. Because I know for a lot of people, it has a lot of nostalgia, and it makes them happy and feel good. So I don't want it to lose any of that, but I've still been able to create my artistry around it, So I think that's possible with any song.
So by working with both teams from China and the United States, what key similarities and differences have you observed between the two ecosystems?
Here, I've noticed people really like the emotional, quiet performances. Like, for Chinese audiences, they really like that. For me, and back home, a lot of the ways that people express themselves are through riffs and through runs and different things. But for the audience here, sometimes that might not be as palatable, right? So that's what I mean when I say different cultures express themselves and relate to things differently.
So this year, this show featured quite a few American singers. Do you believe that through your participation, this will, let American viewers know more about China?
Yeah, I think so. I think the really cool thing about this show is that it welcomes everyone. And I think that's really cool. I don't think there's another show like it out there that I've seen, at least. So I think it's a really cool representation of the different cultures. And what I love to see, honestly, is how the different cultures influence the same genres that we have everywhere, but how they are so different, but also so similar in different places. So I definitely feel like it will pique the curiosity of other Americans.
Also, you said this is a culture exchange. Is there anything particular that you can learn from other artists that maybe have an impact on your future music career?
Yeah, I think every week when I watch people, I'm always learning something. I feel like we all feel that way because I think we all bring something very different and unique to the table, but we're also all very secure in what we do. So what I really like is to see how people present themselves on stage differently, how their culture has impacted literally just their presence and the way that they hold themselves. That's been really cool to watch and witness.
By bringing so many artists from different cultural backgrounds and different countries, this show aims to actually bridge cultural divides through the art of music.
Yeah.
How effectively do you think this aim has now been achieved so far?
I think it's been very much so achieved. I think music is one of the only things, if not the only thing, that truly allows for a universal connection, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like, any of that. So I think the show is really beautiful in that sense. Even though I don't speak the language as a lot of the other artists, I feel connected to them, especially like with Shani Schwinn last week. We don't speak the same language, but I felt very connected to her. And after my performance, she was just so kind and loving, and I felt very close to her, even though, again, we don't speak the same language. We have very different backgrounds. But this competition has a beautiful way of bringing people together and, like you said, emphasizing the universal connection and just bridging gaps and culture divides. And I think that's wonderful.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.